Up next, we have Taylor Carlson running for the position of Secretary Treasurer.
At the age of 14, one of my classmates had completed suicide. The next day, my friends and I discussed his death and the impact that it had on the class of 2017. Years later, at our graduation, the 15 years of my classmate's life was represented by an empty chair. What my classmate did was not a crime. My classmates and I labeled him and will forever remember him as committing a crime. When we label suicide as committing, we are implying that the person who took their life has committed a crime. This stigma on suicide ends now. Many teenagers who complete suicide have a form of depression, and as a society, we view mental illness as a weakness. When students try to express their struggles with their mental disorder, their classmates perceive it as a disgrace. This stigma on students is often attributed to being crazy, stupid, or just looking for attention. When we label teenagers, or anyone for this matter, with these stigmas, we are pushing them away from feeling comfortable enough to ask for help. It seems that when someone claims to have depression or another mental disorder, that it's easier for us to label them with these stigmas than to believe them. Just because we can't see depression or hold it in our hands doesn't mean that a particular person with depression can't feel the weight on their shoulders, the tears on their cheeks, and be consumed by the overwhelming thoughts. In order to change our views on mental illness and teenage suicide, we need to become aware of signs and methods of how we can help students that may consider completing suicide. Leading signs of possible suicide attempts can be noticed when students begin claiming that everything is their fault or they can never do anything right. When teenagers start to say these phrases, they are indirectly trying to reach out for help. Depression can impact teens by making them feel like no one cares, resulting in their unhappiness and loneliness. To help teenagers feel valued, we must be inclusive rather than exclusive. We can also encourage teenagers by guiding them to a therapist or a psychiatrist that can help them cope with their depression. Society quickly labels many people by what they look like, how they act, and how they function compared to a made-up ideal. When we label potential teenagers who may complete suicide, we are pushing them away from getting help, which pushes them further into their depression. Depression is a clinical mental disorder and should not be questioned when someone comes forth to ask for help. By understanding what early signs a potential student may show, we can change our actions by understanding their thoughts and feelings rather than judging them. Starting today, we can be the difference for someone who is seeking help by encouraging them with positive thoughts, rather than to discourage them by our extreme labels. As Michelle Obama once said, every day you have the power to choose a better history by opening your hearts and minds, by speaking up for what you know is right. Let's open our hearts to transform our views on mental illness today.
If an apple drops from a tree at a height of 20 meters and takes 5 seconds to hit the ground, finish the sentence, I am.
I am an apple that has not fallen too far from the tree.
What is one opportunity you have taken to become a better leader?
One opportunity that I have taken to become a better leader was outside of PTK, but it was in my senior year of high school, and I was the drum major. And I had the opportunity to lead the entire band when my band director's father had passed away, and I had to take the initiative to put what I thought the band's best interest was and to move forward. So, because we had a competition that next weekend.
What is a challenge that you have encountered, and how did you overcome it?
You said that I haven't encountered, or have?
Have encountered.
I have.
Yes.
This past year, actually this past semester for school, I had 4 classes, which might not seem like a lot, but I had for my exam, I had a 60-page paper that I turned in, and that was very stressful for me, and I actually had to call into work, and that was a challenge for me because I knew that it was hurting my job, the companies, like putting them in a struggle to find someone else to work. But I had to put my best needs forward to finish that paper because my grade depended on that paper.
Taylor, what is one thing you would like to do to improve our region?
To improve our region, I would like to make more fellowship activities because, for example, right now we see everyone, but we don't know everyone's name. And I feel like getting more fun activities during the year, whether we have to travel a couple hours, not every month, but maybe every couple months, that we could just have fun and connect with each other outside of working hard out of school, that would connect us better.